الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلي وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Hamas uh, Hamas and the Israeli right. Hamas is a strategic tool for the Israeli right, and it has been known to be infested with spies, agents and infiltrators. Jason Hakohen, a major in reserves, said in an interview with the United News website on May 5, 2019, "We need to tell the truth. Netanyahu's strategy is turning Hamas into his closest partner. Hamas openly is an enemy. Covertly, it is an ally." Haritis, October 11, 2023. Summary: Hamas is a strategic asset for the Israeli right and their long-term goals of dispossessing the Palestinians of their land and property. The Israeli right love Hamas and prefer them over the Palestinian Authority of Mahmoud Abbas. Hamas is considered an asset and Abbas a burden in the eyes of the Israeli right. The real threat to Israel has not been not Hamas, violence and terrorism. The danger has always been a peace agreement with the PLO, Abbas, and the establishment of a Palestinian state. For this reason, the intelligent, insightful, and forward-looking among the Muslim leaders in the region is in consideration of the preservation of life, property, and land that has not yet been stolen by the occupiers had taken a strategic road of peace, negotiations, and economic welfare and stability in the region in order to kill the warmongering spirit that is present among the Israeli right, various agenda-driven factions on the world stage, and international arms dealers who profit from war. This will have ensure that no more land could be stolen and the expansionist colonist project would have come to stand still, with whatever has been taken to date simply being a price to pay for the better long-term strategic outcome. Within this will have been tremendous preservation of life, property, and land. Although of sound intelligence can see that the approach mentioned earlier above is a better outcome than being carpet bombed, displaced, and being dispossessed. Whatever remains of land, all of these things being justified in the use of defeating Hamas, which was created and or supported for this reason in the first place. The Messenger of Allah Sallallahu said, "The ending of the whole world is greater to Allah than the killing of a Muslim. The world is magnified in the hearts of people due to their love of it. However, it is worth less to Allah than the life of a Muslim. For this reason, those who do actions that they know full well will lead to the slaughter of thousands of Muslims, knowing from repeated past experience that this is the inevitable outcome behind such actions. Then they will have tremendous burdens on their shoulders on the day of judgment." This is what greater scholars such as Sheikh Al-Hanbali rahimahullah pointed out decades ago, that when these groups kill one or two Jews or attack Abbas and the likes, tens or hundreds, if not thousands of Palestinians are killed or injured in return. This old power of intelligence saved the domesticated asset among the Takfiri Kharijis in respect and veneration of the sanctity of life and pure wisdom in the given circumstances. It should be made clear that the Palestinians have a legitimate right to resist occupation, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. As our scholars have said, they do not know of a people more resilient and patient than them, so our supplications are with them, and we ask Allah to grant them relief and aid against hate-filled, racist, genocidal, child and baby killers who openly announce, boast, and celebrate that they are in their eyes wiping out Amalek. However, the Palestinians people are very, very sadly victims of power plays where various leaderships, secular and Islamic, and their external influence and backers set the agendas. Anyone who wants to watch the establishment of Palestinian state has to support bolstering Hamas and transferring money to Hamas. He told a meeting of his Likud party's Knesset members in March 2019. This is part of our strategy to isolate the Palestinians in Gaza from the Palestinians in the West Bank. Haritis, his life's work was to turn the ship of state from the course steered by his predecessors from Yitzhak Rabin to Ehud Olmert and make the two-state solution impossible. En route to this goal, he found a partner in Hamas. This Haritis, October 9, 2023. Israeli party leader Hamas strategic asset 2015 Bezalel Smotrich, leader of Israeli religious Zionist party. The PIA is a liability and Hamas is an asset. On the international playing field in this game of the legitimization, think about for a second. The PA is a liability and Hamas is an asset. It's a terrorist organization. Nobody will recognize it. Nobody will give it status at the ICC, and nobody will let them push resolutions at the UN, and they will need an American veto, or we won't need a one. I'm not sure at all that given the current situation, given the current fact that the central playing field we are playing in is international there, Abu Mazen Abbas is costing us serious casualties, and Hamas is in such a situation will be an asset. I don't think we need to be afraid of that Hamas taking over. Twitter, May 18, 2021. The Israeli right is now openly saying it wants to keep Hamas in power 2019. At the latest round of fighting Gaza and Southern Israel died down, it became clear that keeping Hamas in power has become a central tenet of the Israeli right. In the eyes of the right today, every Israeli patriot must wholeheartedly support the Hamas regime in Gaza. Leftist traitors, they say, support the possibility that the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, who rules over the West Bank, take control of the Gaza Strip, bringing Israel close to the pit of two-state solution, as right-wing pundit and former IDF Major General Jason Cohen put it. The policy of separating the West Bank from Gaza isn't new. It began in the late 1980s with various prime ministers from Yitzhak Rabin to Netanyahu finding ways to make it more sophisticated over the years. Now comes the reasoning behind the separation. No longer we are dealing solely with the question of ostensible security benefit that result in severing Gaza from the West Bank. Today, Hamas rule has added value, and maintaining its regime justifies Israeli civilian casualties. Palestinian lives, of course, don't matter. In order to keep Hamas on its feet, writes Distal Abtarian, Netanyahu is willing to pay an almost inconceivable price: half of the country paralyzed, children and parents in post-trauma, bombed houses, people killed. Why is Netanyahu willing to pay this price? The answer is simple. Every home needs a balcony, and Israel is a home, writes Distal Abtarian. The balcony of this home is Samaria. If Hamas crumbles, Mahmoud Abbas may rule the strip. If he rules it, voices on the left will encourage negotiation, a political settlement, and a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria as well. This is the real reason Netanyahu doesn't annihilate Hamas. Everything else is bullshit. Erez Tadmor, one of the founders of the far-right in Tirzu movement and who headed Liquid's information campaign in the last elections, struck a similar tone on Twitter. The split between Abbas, Judea and Samaria and Hamas Gaza is optimal for Israel. He tweeted after the ceasefire was announced, when necessary we can strike Hamas in Gaza and not be forced to withdraw to the out-switches borders. Allahumma stania. Judea and Samaria. Todmore wrote, Aywa. Jonathan Orich, who managed Liquid's campaign alongside Tadmo and is one of Netanyahu's closest advisors, made similar remarks. Netanyahu succeeded in disconnecting between Gaza and Judea and Samaria and effectively shattered the vision of a Palestinian state in those two areas. Part of the achievement is linked to the Qatari money that comes to Hamas every month. He explained in an interview to Makor Rishon before the latest round of fighting erupted. Netanyahu's supporters on the right aren't alone, although MK Bezalel Smotrich, who may soon become a minister, expressed disappointment over the fact that Israel did not kill 700 Palestinians. In retaliation for every rocket fired from Gaza back in 2014, he called Hamas an asset and Abbas a burden. In an interview with right-wing news website media, Gashon Hakohen, known for his criticism of Netanyahu from the right, explained that by refraining from taking down Hamas, Netanyahu prevented Abbas to establish a permanent Palestinian state. We need to take advantage of the situation of a separation between Gaza and Ramallah. It's a top Israeli interest, and it is impossible to understand the campaign in Gaza without understanding this context. As opposed to Netanyahu's admirers, Hakohen is aware that support for Hamas is a trap for Israel. Hamas created with the threat of rocket a difficult equation that cannot be denied. He admitted. Each day of rockets paralyzing the country carries heavy financial costs. That is why Hamas can cause us to prefer consolidation of containment, because the price we pay is high. Hakohen supports a severe response to Hamas, but worries that such a response will be too successful. To avoid a situation in which we have defeated Hamas but have fallen to the pit of two-state solution. He said we must first of all regulate control over Area C and stop the attempt of the PA to take over the other areas under the auspices of the European Union. First we annex, then we topple Hamas. In the eyes of the Israeli right, the real threat to Israel is not Hamas violence and terrorism and danger is a peace agreement with the PLO, Abbas, and the establishment of a Palestinian state. In the struggle against this danger, Hamas is viewed as an almost ideological partner. It too opposes Abbas and has no interest in the PA ruling Gaza. That is why whatever strengthens Hamas is good for Israel, and whatever weakens it is bad for Israel. And Israel that wants to continue its occupation of the West Bank will want to continue to stand on the balcony and Gaza at the and the gaze at the Palestinians from above. This is 1972 magazine, May 12, 2019. Wikileaks cable Israeli intelligence chief encouraged Hamas takeover of Gaza Strip 2010. In the latest revelation to come out of the hundreds of thousands of leaked diplomatic cables provided by the website WikiLeaks, a diplomatic exchange between the Israeli Director of Military Intelligence, Major General Amos Yadlin, and U.S. Ambassador to Israel Richard Jones, showed Israeli support for Hamas-ruled Gaza Strip, which Israel could then declare Gaza to be a hostile entity. IMEMC News 22 December 2010. Israeli gave major aid to Hamas to 2001. Israel and Hamas may currently be locked in deadly combat, but according to several current and former US intelligence officials, beginning in the late 1970s, Tel Aviv gave direct and indirect financial aid to Hamas over a period of years. Even then, some in Israel saw some benefit to be had in trying to continue to give Hamas support. The thinking on the part of some of the right-wing Israeli establishment was that Hamas and the other groups, if they gain control, will refuse to have anything to do with the peace process and would torpedo any agreement put in place, said a U.S. government official, that is UPI, February 24, 2001.